Alright guys, it is time for another upcoming games video. You guys seem to like this quite a lot, and this time we are here to talk about the upcoming tactical shooters, and there's quite a few coming up in 2021 and beyond. This video won't just talk about tactical FPSs, but all tactical shooters in general, from a third-person World War II game to a first-person SWAT project. And I will also be talking about the extremely promising future of certain tactical shooters that will definitely have you interested. Before we start, this video is sponsored by something I'm actually really happy of promoting, and that is Opera GX. Opera GX is the world's first browser entirely made for gaming. I've just recently started using it, and I've found this extremely helpful for everything PC gaming, or simply your PC in general, from researching the best games at a discount, managing your PC's use, and the integration of other features, like Discord and such. Now first of all, Opera GX features GX Control. This will enhance the performance on your PC while you're gaming and have a ton of browsers opened. I regularly get lag when I let some pages up because sometimes I forget to pause a YouTube video, but this right here will limit all other uses while gaming. You can limit your computer CPU at your will, or even the RAM if you'd like to. Google Chrome on the other end is using a ton of space while GX doesn't at all. The interface of GX is also more fitted to gamers in general, with a design that looks both dark and beautiful, and you can customize it however you want. There's also the GX Corner feature where you can stay up to date on free games, the best deals available, the newest releases, and also a lot of gaming news overall, all in one place. Other than that, there's also a Twitch and Discord integration, where you can go to your accounts directly from the sidebar and get a notification when a streamer goes live, for example, and also see any of your notifications on the Discord app. Opera GX sponsored this video, yes, but they definitely have something really cool here. Make sure you guys download it in the link in the description below, and please let me know if you did by replying to my pinned comment. The first game in this list, we have Land of War. This is a World War II tactical FPS indie game that I've been waiting for quite a bit now, for the simple fact that this is a single player only project. No multiplayer, just a great story to get into. Land of War is absolutely the first video game to concentrate on the 1939 and 1940 period of World War II. This early stage war was completely omitted until now. The creators of Land of War are true fanatics of classical World War II shooters. As a result, their product reflects the principles underlying some of the earliest games in the genre: clean and simple gameplay with intuitive steering and plenty of enemies to kill. The game's chapters that will be available to you are based on the epic historical battles and authentic gear and equipment. It provides fast-paced action, a constant exchange of fire, and intensity of fight based on yet uncharted period of World War II. Land of War also explores weapons never or rarely used in games before. Some of those weapons were prototypes only at the start of the war. Others were only used in the first chapter of World War I and were not used later as the conflict spread across the world. In the game, you will assume duties of a young soldier involved in numerous battles and skirmishes with fast advancing German war machine, become a scout, an infantryman, and a leader, go to battle on foot, driving armored vehicles, or flying an airplane. Use any of 40+ types of weapons, some of them not featured in any other game. Let me know if you guys are excited for this indie game. Next up, we have Projekt Wraith, a brand new tactical FPS in the works that not many people know about yet, since it is in early development, but I'm pretty excited for its future. These are developers 100% focusing on gameplay first, with a heavy focus on everything being free and for the community. The game website states, if the core gameplay loop isn't fun, then the foundation is weak. We are focusing on fluid controls and gameplay, easy to learn but hard to master, rewarding players with a sense of achievement for mastering the game. You'll also need to learn nade spots, jump boost, and every little angle you can to gain an advantage. Think of classics like COD 4's Pro Mod reimagined in 2020, or just fast-paced tactical games. This is what Projekt Wraith will be all about. New maps and weapons missions will always be free, everything unlocked from day one, no pay to win ever, just cosmetics. The developers want their players to always feel involved on what the next weapon should be, what map they'd love, and more. Projekt Wraith will include solo rank matchmaking, team scrims, leaderboards, and tournaments when it finally releases. They want to create a home for competitive players of skill levels, but of course casual players are equally as important. Trying to force everyone to play under one banner will result in alienation of our player base, they said. Let players decide and host their own servers and communities with complete autonomy. This project is all about fast time to kill and a large focus on objective-oriented gameplay and anti-camping mechanics. Play the objective or die. Let me know if you're interested in it. Next up we have 0 Hour. This game has already been released, but man does its future promises a lot with new maps, new weapons, new tactical opportunities, and so much more. At the time of this video, 0 Hour is still a very underrated tactical FPS and not a lot of people are playing, but I bet this will change in 2021. The co-op mode will get brand new features, new missions, new opportunities, as well as its multiplayer gaining new equipment, new modes, animations, and such. In the near future, they have plans to add a lot of PvE elements, also co-op game modes, along with upgraded animations, which is vastly requested by the community. They will rework a few maps in order to fix flaws, to enhance smooth and polished gameplay. Overall, the game is a tactical FPS with online team-based action gameplay that takes place in a variety of locations in Bangladesh, with real-life skill and resource management. Inspired by various other tactical shooter games, 0 Hour tries to bring a very grounded co-op and team versus team experience in locations with real-life skill and resource management again. It brings a very grounded co-op, 5v5, team versus team, close quarter combat experience to the game that focuses on two teams with each player having their own roles. The attackers utilizing shields, weapons, and the planning table, and the terrorists utilizing traps and gadgets in order to fortify the area. I'm super excited for its future. Next up we have Projekt Z, a really interesting upcoming tactical zombie game. With Projekt Z, the developers want to combine the casual and the hardcore market by implementing a bit of both. This game is inspired by Left 4 Dead and will offer an interesting story for each of the unique characters in the game. You get to play these different characters who each have very different abilities, and you'll need to find out more about the secrets of the German island you all crashed on during World War II. This is an island you weren't supposed to find out about, and now you have to escape from it. Both you and the enemy, which are the Germans, will be allies to end the mysterious ring of the zombies on this island. Projekt Z will have a detailed core system, an immersive and hardcore weapon system where each bullet counts, and many missions to play alone or with friends. Next up we have Hell Let Loose in 2021. Now of course some of you might already know about this game since it already released, but its 2021 content will be absolutely huge and in itself could be an entirely new game. The Eastern Front of Hell Let Loose is coming in 2021 and will bring a ton of new massive maps, bigger tank battles with new tanks, huge city and industry maps, new factions, and overall a true World War II battlefield experience. Right now the game isn't even close to being finished and it is already an amazing experience, and the developers promised a lot for this year. Right now Hell Let Loose is already well worth the buy, with a ton of different maps that all feel unique, many vehicles, proximity chat for the best tactical experience, and awesome graphics. I will be making a video on the Eastern Front when we do have footage of it in the near future. Next up we have Squad Vietnam, a complete overhaul of Squad for the Vietnam War, created as a mod by what is looking like a true talented team who are passionate for what's coming. As a team they decided to tackle a Vietnam project inside of Squad because they believe it's the best fit for the extremely unique gunfights and gameplay. The developers want to give you the player one of the best asymmetric fights in Squad itself, and they hope to achieve that by giving an accurate depiction of the conflict in Vietnam that Hollywood struggles to display. The team has set out to make the mod as accurate to the setting and location as possible. They hope to release the mod in the first quarter of 2021. That release will feature the US/Vietcong with their first massive map. Then they hope to release a V2, which will include ARVN and Australian factions, with the second map being released before or with V2. The iconic to the era UA helicopter will of course be included alongside other models like the Bell H-13CO using base game helicopters controls and flight systems. They will also be including commander ability airstrikes and such. Super excited to see more again. Next up we have Projekt Z, a brand new James Bond game made by the creators of the Hitman trilogy. You couldn't have picked a better developers to create a James Bond game, and I couldn't be more excited for it. So far IO Interactive, the developers, have only released a small teaser trailer for this upcoming game, but it is enough to make us all bring back to the good old times of the GoldenEye games, and oh man am I excited to see what this game can bring to the table. It'll feature a completely original story with a new James Bond character that we haven't seen. The game is rumored to feature both third and first person view. Next up we have Ready or Not. This one has been announced some time ago but still hasn't released. The game had a lot of problems, especially over the past months because of the lack of any communication from the developers, but they seem to be going back on track a little bit lately and are saying to be working hard on the most important part of Ready or Not, the PvE, not its PvP, which they were centered on at the beginning. Ready or Not is an intense tactical first-person shooter that depicts a modern-day world in which SWAT police units are called to defuse hostile and confronting situations. Wraith Interactive have consulted with police teams globally in order to create rules of engagement and a scoring system that are both challenging and realistic. In order to push the bar further with realism, Ready or Not models ballistic penetration, ricochet, Kevlar and plate dynamics, as well as projectile expansion and momentum. You'll be able to organize an approach and strategize through floor plans and mission briefs, then execute the mission in real time. Officers can decide to deploy with items such as ballistic shield, door rams, tactical ladders, and much more. Finally, we have Embark Studios' first game. Embark is a studio which include the last CEO of Battlefield devs DICE, Patrick Sutherland, and also has a lot of DICE developers at its most important parts of the studio. The team already consists of 200 developers, so it definitely won't be a small game. But we still only have a small gameplay teaser from it, and no name. Though the concept for this upcoming free-to-play game leans heavily into team-based gameplay and puts dynamism, physicality, and destruction front and center. Back in February 2019, Sutherland stated that Embark was working on a free-to-play action game set in a distant future, and that the studio was using real-world scan data and procedurally placed objects, and it first started as a PvE experience, but is now said to be a full-on PvP one. Another game that I'm really anticipating and that we'll know more about in the near future. Alright guys, that is all for this upcoming games compilation. Make sure you drop a like on this video to give some support, and of course subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks to Space Beer Gaming, Rush Shingbati, I Am Legend, Diamond Hunter 45, Themistocles, Rickno23 and Kianzo Fagari for being a master member on the channel. You can become a survivor member for as low as 99 cents a month. It'll help me and the channel as a whole to make more and better videos.